All right. Thank you so much for joining us on day 3 of Summer 2022 Fancy Foods Show live stream coverage. This show being brought to you by Specialty Food Association. This live stream powered by the Food Institute. And it's your girl, the one and only Susan Choi, Digital Media Director of the Food Institute, bringing the show to you in the comfort of your own home. Kick off those slippers, pick up your coffee, sit back, relax. We've got a great show planned for you. I want to take it back to the previous night where Naturally New York partnered up with SFA to produce the first live pitch slam ever, a fancy pitch slam. It was awesome. There were about, I think, 5 finalists, maybe 6 finalists. What was it, Stephen? Was it 5 or 6?
It was 5.
It was 5. Okay, 5 finalists coming together to pitch amongst a panel of 4 judges, and the winner received a grand prize of all sorts of goodies. We got to check out who the winner was. Charlene, let's bring up a video.
Look at that big check. They're going to put it up on the screen for me. Who is the winner? Gretchen? I know she's in the back. Rocky!
Hey, Rocky, a well-deserved win from a very, very excellent pool of finalists. So exciting. There is Stephen Caldwell of Rossi Stuff getting that giant check, which probably cost possibly as much as the amount on the check. You know, those things don't come cheap. And I am so excited to have with us here today the winner of the Fancy Foods Pitch Slam 2022, Stephen Caldwell of Rossi Stuffed Spuds. Stephen, congratulations. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, I'm so pumped to have you. I mean, what a night it was for you. Tell me, how did it feel? How did it feel going up there, getting that giant check, winning the competition?
I got to tell you, it was first of all, to actually get picked as the top 5 finalist was unbelievable. I woke up a couple of weeks ago and the email was in my inbox at 5 a.m. and I screamed, and Lori's like, "What's going on? Somebody tried to break in?" I said, "No, I'm a finalist." So then we started with the pitch deck and getting it ready and getting our story down right. But last night, it was an amazing array of different brands and in the Better For You space. And so I am so proud to have been pitching with all of them because they were all amazing.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I mean, okay, so you're here. The platform is yours. Okay, tell us, what is Rossi Stuffed Spuds? What is it?
I got to tell you, I have been a foodie and a recreational chef since the age of 5 years old. There were some shows that I believe you don't even remember, but the Galloping Gourmet when I was 5.
Okay.
This gentleman from the UK would be cooking. It was a 30-minute show, so 22 minutes out after commercials. He would do this 3-course meal in front of a bunch of ladies in the audience, and he would be flamboyant, running around the kitchen putting this together. And at the last minute, he would bring people down, a woman down to the audience. And
I know this show.
Yes.
I watch this after school. I get a Big Mac from McDonald's.
Oh my gosh.
I love that guy. Oh, I thought he was Australian. Is he from the UK?
He's from the UK. Graham Kerr.
Graham.
Yes. And so.
Love you, Graham.
Yes. If you ever
Great.
saw me in the kitchen, or if you ever get a chance or whatever, I'm telling you,
he got the audience going.
Absolutely.
And one lucky woman with the romantic.
Exactly. And a glass of wine even at 9 o'clock in the morning. And my mom would watch it with me and just swoon. So from that time, I have been a foodie all my life, but I've never followed my food passion in this space until I was 54. It was 3.5 years ago. I tasted it out of country, and it wasn't Switzerland. So I was at a catered event, and the gentleman was frying hash browns, what looked like hash browns, which they were, filling it with meats and cheeses and everything else, and covering it and frying it on both sides. When I tasted that, and I've tasted and made some crazy dishes in my life, the simplicity, but how it resonated, I came back and I told Lori, we've got to start making this. And when I found out that it had Swiss origins, I started really, deep diving into it from the social media or from a Google standpoint and web surfing. And I found out it originated in the canton of Bern, Switzerland in the early 1800s as peasant food. So wives would shred potatoes. They would do the same thing as I described. They would hold leftovers from supper the night before. They would fill it and then cover it with shredded potatoes. They would fry it on both sides. You can imagine, all that stuffing inside of it. It would sustain the men in the fields all day, but it would also bring friends and family around the table. And that's really what we talk about, even on our packaging, the love story of Rossi and how it's elevating the everyday from moms and dads and kids.
I love that. I mean, who doesn't love a good potato?
Exactly, right? I mean, especially when it's crispy.
Yeah.
And filled with cheese.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. So where are you guys right now? Where are you guys in terms of getting that product on the store shelf? What's that process been like? Generating buzz. Talk to me about that.
When we started, we launched at Fancy Food 2019 in San Francisco in Incubator Village. Lori and I had a small 24-inch space. We made 750 of these by hand, and we quartered them. So when we made it in there, and we were under the umbrella of the Oregon State University Food Incubator that actually did the final food science and commercialization for us, and they did it in 8 weeks. We launched 5 flavors. So we're at the show, Incubator Village, like all these incredible brands are in this show. And again, that was just 3 short years ago. And all of a sudden, we have the whole team from Whole Foods walk up from Austin, Texas. They all tasted it. They walked away. I was going, what's going on over there? One peeled away, and she came up to us and said, this is the most innovative potato we have ever seen in this space. We're going to go ahead and launch you in the Pacific Northwest region, and you will be global in 2 years. I said, Alex, I don't even know where I'm going to make this. I just created this 12 weeks ago. She said, with that passion, you'll figure it out because you're rolling out in those stores in August of this year. And true to form, 2 years later, last July, we went global with Whole Foods.
Oh my gosh, now I have to run to Whole Foods after the show.
Exactly.
I got to see this. Okay, so where can I find it in the refrigerator?
You can find it in frozen.
Okay.
So you'll go to frozen. In Whole Foods, it's in snacks and apps. And what you'll find in the Northeast region is our twice baked potato, which is incredible. It's got chives, it's got sour cream, it's got cream cheese with a really nice coarse cracked pepper finish. Even the kids love it, fan favorite. And then the other one they have on shelf is our melty 3 cheese. It's got Parmesan, cheddar, and mozzarella. And I'm telling you, leave it whole, put a poached egg on it with hollandaise sauce, and in 20 minutes, your family and friends will think you've been slaving over hours in the kitchen to bring that together. And then cut it up for after school snacks for the kids as a side at dinner.
Very versatile.
Very versatile. We call it elevating the everyday.
Right. I mean, it's like the young single career person coming home exhausted.
Exactly.
A potato with
right out of the freezer.
Like toppings to the family. The mom's like, what am I going to feed the kids? That's great. I love it. So back to the pitch slam. Back to being the winner of the pitch slam. And all the wonderful things you won. I mean, of course, you've got that amazing cash prize that's going to go in handy.
That's right.
But you've also got the booths at the shows, right? I think it's Expo East.
Expo East.
Fancy Foods in Vegas.
Correct.
Fancy Foods 2023. Mark your calendar.
That's right.
And then also some great guidance from consulting companies.
Absolutely.
Right?
Amazing.
So what does that mean to you, as, a company that's got big dreams, wants to grow big? What does that mean to you? What are the challenges that, you're thinking of? What are your goals now? What are your goals over the next year, 2 years?
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's a great question. And in this space, because we actually created a category, it's never been done before. We actually hold 2 patents on a filled potato. First of all, I really thought I was crazy at 54 to launch a food product in this space I've never done. Then they said you're even crazier for spending the money that you don't have to patent it. And in July of 2020, we received those, and it's been an absolute blessing. But what it means to us is that my dad taught me when I was 9 years old, always admit you know what you don't know. Don't try to be that person that just is a yes. Oh, yeah, I can do that. Don't worry, I can do that, right? We have surrounded ourselves with people on this team. And by the way, there's a lot of press out there. I just recently acquired our company back from our original partners. We rebranded from Rosti to Rosti Stuffed Spuds. And we are on a trajectory to win this, to put the icing on the cake, to use all those consulting and those shows that, that was going to save us those fees to get in there, and to be able to continue to bring this, as well as innovating more and more flavors. Because really, the potato, this crispy shredded potato with this incredible mouthfeel, the vehicle being the potatoes, we have an infinite number of cultural experiences we can fill it with.
That's right. That's amazing. It's all about the flavor. It's all about the potato, and it's all about the pitch slam that you won last night. Stephen Caldwell of Rosti Stuffed Spuds. Coming to a grocery store shelf near you, right?
That's
All
right.
right. Well, Stephen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for it.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
A win well deserved.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me on.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, moving on, we are going to take a quick commercial break. But when we come back, we've got another special guest for you right here. Stay tuned. got a great guest for you for a great cause. As you know, Fancy Foods, or maybe you don't know, Fancy Foods, it's a huge show at the Javits Center here in New York City. I mean, hundreds of exhibitors, thousands of attendees. So what do you think the exhibitors are bringing? They're bringing their food products, and they're bringing a lot of it. And you've got, attendees really excited to try out, sample these products, but at the end of the show, maybe not all of the inventory gets used up. What are we going to do with it? That is where City Harvest comes in. They come in and they do a great work. They come in, they take all of the unused products, and they put it to real use. And here with me now, I've got Jenna Harris of City Harvest. Jenna, tell me, what's your title? What do you do with City Harvest?
I am the Associate Director of our Donor Relations and Supply Chain team.
There you go, right there. Heard it from the horse's mouth. Associate Director of Relations and Supply Chain, correct?
Correct.
All right. Well, first of all, Jenna, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
This is such an important thing to cover. This is such an important topic. I mean, food waste. Tell us all about your efforts here, City Harvest efforts here at Fancy Foods.
Yeah, we love coming to Fancy Food Show every year. We've been doing it for more than 2 decades. And like you said at the end of the show, a lot of these exhibitors don't want to bring back their product with them. Maybe they have leftovers. So City Harvest will come in at the end of the show and rescue everything. We pick it up with about close to 200 volunteers, and we will pack it all up and bring it to soup kitchens and food pantries all across the 5 boroughs of New York City.
I love that. I love that. And how long have you guys been partnering?
So we've been partnering for more than 2 decades. So it's a really long relationship. We love working with specialty foods.
Yes.
It's been a really, really wonderful partnership.
Yeah. And how many volunteers do you guys have?
So we're thinking close to 200 volunteers. I mean, the space obviously is massive. So it's just a lot of booths to go to. We have a lot of people that'll be out on the floor helping to rescue all this wonderful food.
Yeah. Take me through the process. So as you may or may not know, viewers, so it is day 3 of Fancy Foods at the end. The booths will close down at 3 p.m.
Correct.
So take me through the process, even from the minute that the trucks roll in.
Yeah, so the trucks actually should be here any minute.
Okay.
They'll start offloading the supplies that we're bringing, which is, pallets, watermelon bins. We have rolling bins, things like that. Our volunteers will come in. We'll do a quick orientation with them. And then as soon as the show ends at 3, that's when we hit the floor. So we set up what we call consolidation centers. We'll have a couple on each floor, and volunteers will go to those areas, get their supplies, and then they hit the floor, going to every single booth to see what's left there for donation. They'll know that it's left for donation because exhibitors are going to put these stickers on the actual product. So anything with a sticker, our volunteers are going to pick up, bring to our consolidation centers, and that's where we pack everything up, get it ready for the trucks. And then our trucks are waiting on the dock to bring everything to the soup kitchens and food pantries that we work with.
That's great. What's the criteria for a product that is eligible for donation? I'm sure shelf stable.
Yeah, really anything that's unopened, we can take. We're taking both perishable and non-perishable.
Oh, right.
As long as it's being kept at refrigeration.
Okay.
All of our trucks are refrigerated, so we're able to take that product safely to our agencies as well.
That's great. So how long does that process take to sweep through? I mean, that's got to take a while.
Yeah, our goal is to finish by 8 p.m. We do have a 4-hour window for perishable items. So we start with that first. We make sure we get all the perishable off the floor as soon as possible.
Yep.
And then we'll go to non-perishable after that.
Okay. And then after you guys collect it, do you guys bring it directly to all of the local, just straight there?
Yeah, so tonight we'll bring all the perishable items to 4 different soup kitchens. A lot of them will stay open late for this. They all know the product. They love it. They're excited to get it.
That's great.
And then we actually come back tomorrow morning. We'll get all the non-perishable items tomorrow morning and bring that right to the agencies tomorrow.
That makes sense. Can you mention which soup kitchens are they?
I don't have those on the top of my head, but they're all across the 5 boroughs, mostly in the Bronx and Brooklyn, I believe, for tomorrow.
Can people find out on cityharvest.com or?
We can definitely share that with you or with someone afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. But it's cityharvest.com. That's what people.
Cityharvest.org.
Cityharvest.org.
Yes.
.org to get information about this great nonprofit. Thank you so much for being here. I do want to talk about what has it been like working with City Harvest. How long have you been working for City Harvest?
Yeah, I've been here for almost 4 years.
Okay.
So it definitely, the last 2 years have been pretty different for us with going through COVID, but We have a huge amount of really wonderful donors that we work with. We're so grateful to partner with them. And our department works with all the food donors within the 5 boroughs. So it's been really exciting just to see how generous people are and being able to serve those communities that we serve.
Yeah, tell me, how critical is it right now, the issue of hunger in the city? Talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously throughout COVID, things have been exacerbated. It's this year alone, we will rescue and deliver more than 100 million pounds of food just to help meet the enormous need that's out in the city right now.
Yeah. What are the best ways that people can fight hunger, in their own homes? Also, if you have any tips on, like how can people, be better at conserving food waste, wasting less food, things like that. Talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways. I would say, at the home, definitely, if you can try to conserve your own food waste, we definitely try to recommend if you have excess, we tap into the community fridge network a lot, so people can bring leftover food there. We're always open to taking food donations, even from individual people. But I'd say a great way to support City Harvest in general is just go to our website, cityharvest.org. People can make financial donations, or they're welcome to volunteer as well. We have tons of volunteer opportunities all across the 5 boroughs all year long.
That's a big part of it, just that manpower,
yes.
right?
Yeah,
and even if people,
huge.
Can't find, a City Harvest near them, or can't, be in person, it's, just get out there, right? That's probably like a big part.
Absolutely.
They need the hands. Right?
Yeah, and we're a member of Feeding America, which is a national organization. So if they're not in New York City, they probably have a food bank somewhere near them that is a Feeding America food bank as well.
Oh, that's great. So is it feedingamerica.
I believe probably feedingamerica.org, but I would maybe just Google Feeding America.
Google Feeding America. I'm sure you guys know how to spell Feeding in America. We'll Google that. cityharvest.org.
Yes.
Jenna Harris,
yes.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Such a great effort, great cause. I'm so excited for you guys. You guys are going to be helping a lot of people today.
Yeah, thank you
well
so
done.
much. Thank you.
We're so much.
So excited.
Yeah, all right. Well, that is all with Jenna Harris, and we are going to come back really quick. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We've got more great guests, more great content for you. Stay right with us. And we are back here at the Summer 2022 Fancy Foods Show, brought to you by Specialty Food Association. This live stream powered by the Food Institute, www.foodinstitute.com. I'm going to keep telling you because you might forget. You're sitting on the couch, you're relaxing. I got to bring that information to you, right? I know you appreciate it. Susan Choi here, your host, here with two amazing people. They know trends, they see trends, they can probably predict trends by now. I'm here with Melanie Bartelme of Mintel, Jonathan Deutsch of Drexel Food Lab. They're here to tell us all things trends. I'm really glad that you guys are here. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Great to be here.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into it. Trends.
Awesome.
Trends for 2022. We're at the 2022 Summer Fancy Food Show. What are you seeing?
Gosh, what are we not seeing? I feel like it's been sort of a building up. We were just talking about this, of some of the things that we were seeing before. And then some of these new sort of iterations of things. Like for me, it's been so great to be back and to be able to see where the booths were, sort of how they've grown, kind of what the new, some of these people that were already innovating before, doing some new things. But I think one of the things that Jonathan and I were talking about is being able to see some of these flavors that maybe were, I don't want to say surface level, but were maybe a little bit more basic, really being able to get a little bit deeper, a little bit more nuanced. That's something we've been seeing consumers be interested in before. We're seeing it with more African specific region flavors. Africa's a huge entity, right? That doesn't mean much. We're starting to see consumers learning. We're seeing it in other ways. You had a great product example.
Yeah, so, I would say the big change is, first of all, I agree with Melanie. There was sort of like pent up supply of great products and great trends over COVID. I think we've seen it with our clients at the Drexel Food Lab. Like lots of people had ideas. They were sitting on them, but they were busy with work and travel and kids' school. And then they had this strange gift of time, and a lot of them used it, and we're seeing that. And definitely a lot more nuance. So if, for example, if bear beret from Ethiopia was something we saw in the past as like, oh, there's a lot more general awareness of this among US consumers, now we're seeing an entrepreneur with 5 varieties of bear beret. So it's going a lot deeper, right? We're seeing not just really good artisanal hoisin sauce, but here's a Vietnamese hoisin sauce, which is different from a Chinese hoisin sauce, and this is where you use each. And I think for years, food entrepreneurs have been sort of discounting the American consumer as like, well, this is how I make it at home, but this is what I'm going to do for the mass market U.S. consumer.
Because they don't have that.
They wouldn't
they
appreciate it. They don't like over spicy. Let's make it. Let's add sugar.
Make it sweet. Yeah.
But I'm actually starting to see, thank God, a little bit more respect for the consumer of actually caring about what they eat and being ready to like have some spice and have some funky fish sauce and have some fermentation and like, yes, we can handle it. We actually want big, bold, delicious flavors. And I think it's exciting that the supply side is beginning to respect that.
Yeah, and just sort of building on that too, I think that it all ties in really well with what we're seeing with consumers during the pandemic, leaning more toward at-home cooking. And then first, because they had to not be able to go to restaurants. And now, still thinking about that balance about, when the dollar is tight as well, being able to take some of this sort of experimentation that they would have had in restaurants, learning about maybe some of these more specific varieties of these different spices, sauces, all of that, all the different cuisines, and then being able to take that home and feel like maybe they're more empowered and more interested in sort of recreating that. We know consumers are interested in restaurant style food at home. We see so many restaurant brands here, kind of going into sauces, the Carbone, and Tom Colicchio has one, all of these different things. So I think all of that ties in really well with helping the consumer really experience at that higher level all of these different flavors and being able to do it in a way that they feel confident in, because the way that they're prepared and the way that the companies are explaining the different usages. In the sambal example, I can't remember the name of the company offhand, but they have a couple of different kinds, and they're saying this one is to use with rice. This one's all around cooking. This one is for this. It just really helps shortcut that for the consumer, because that was the barrier. there are all these great flavors out there, but what do I do with it? And now, because they have more knowledge and because they did have the time to maybe hone up their cooking skills, we're getting busier again. We're all here being busy. But now we've got this opportunity to take some of that and implement it at home in these ways that are convenient, but also give us that agency to really be creative with our food and drink.
That's great. And I love what, Jonathan, what you were saying about, there's more trust and awareness on the part of the business person, on the consumer, to have more in-depth flavors, not just assuming what they think they know, trying to just constantly thinking of mass market, having more varieties of sauce, having more faith that the consumer wants to try different flavors. I mean, I feel like you see that in the mainstream media. Like, I think of Eric Kim at the New York Times, and he, does things like sheet pan bibimbap, which is a, cream dish staple. I'm Korean myself. Roast chicken with fish sauce butter, right? I hear the term jollof rice a lot more frequently now.
Yes.
Like, that's the thing, what you were pointing at, Melanie, the African cuisine trend, and also people wanting to cook at home more, right? They want to experiment more. Is that also a trend that you're seeing, people wanting to cook more, people, I think you guys didn't mention that, but people wanting to be bolder with the flavors? I mean, was that always there, or are you definitely seeing kind of like an upward trend of people wanting to be, fancier with their palate?
Yeah, I think a lot of people got very comfortable cooking during the pandemic. I don't think that's a trend we're going to see for long. I think people are very happy to pick up their phone and make dinner that way.
Yeah.
It's a balance, right?
It's a balance. But I do think the trend of restaurants getting into CPG, we're gonna, has really shaped that a lot. There's a lot of pandemic pivot. I know for our portfolio, we worked with a lot more restaurant chefs trying to package their sauces and products than ever before. And that's translated to home cooking. And the other thing that's translated is a lot of people who didn't cook at home through most of the pandemic are getting not feeling great health-wise and also pocketbook-wise, especially as we enter this volatility in the market with doing so much takeout food. And so I saw a lot of really good takeout solutions, like Indian spice mixes in pouches, where you might be intimidated by Indian cooking, but it's really not that complicated if you know how to do your spice blends, right?
Like an
and so
intro,
it's an intro,
try
simmer
it.
sauces, right, with some of those great flavors. So all you really need is a block of tofu or a chicken breast and some veggies, and dinner's sort of, by the time your rice is done cooking, the dinner's done. It doesn't take a lot of culinary skill, and it's going to be, a quarter or a third the price of a takeout dinner, and you can control how much oil's in there and how much salt's in there, and I think that part of the trend is going to be around for a while.
Yeah, and I think building on that, I think a lot of consumers maybe got that experimentation. You asked about Boulder, maybe got some of these flavors, this experience when they were doing what we saw, the rise of meal kits during the pandemic, which, I don't have the current numbers, but I know that is not necessarily sustainable for the long term, the numbers that we were seeing. But having that ability, like you were saying, Jonathan, to take some of that, have that ease of preparation, have that experience to say, I know how to do this because now I've done it. I had a sauce, I had a spice blend, I could recreate this. And I do think that helps build that appreciation for Boulder, and the fact that if we are saving money and we're doing this more often instead of getting takeout, then we want something different. We want something that is going to feel special from one day to the next. So you want to have this option for today, that option for tomorrow, do that global exploration, but you're still, again, doing it in a relatively risk-free and safe way. And I think that's something that consumers are going to continue to appreciate. And that is what's driving some of this sort of just that shift in making it a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more nuanced. That'll give that consumer the ability to continue to sort of add that little bit of special, that joy, which is another trend I think that is really important. But also, that's why specialty food was so important in the pandemic and continues to be so important, because it's just that way that you jazz up your everyday. So adding in that special rice. I saw smoked
Special spice.
Yes, smoked basmati rice here, like these different spolini pasta, all of those things where it's like, even at those price points, they're still cheaper than a restaurant. So bring that in, make it a special day. I absolutely see that kind of activity continuing.
I always do that. I buy ingredients for one of my favorite meals, like the vongole. And I've got the cockles and I've got the olive oil and the garlic and the white wine, and I'm like, yeah, this is much cheaper than like one single dish. And I'm going to make like a 6 serving, portion of vongole pasta. One thing I want to ask you guys is, okay, so we're from the Food Institute. We're a media company that covers food and beverage industry news, right? So what I'm seeing is you have trends of people with the whole plant-based industry, but at the same time, I see stats about the Wagyu beef market rising, right? You hear like latest data about people, they want to be healthy, but they also want to indulge. I mean, so what's the deal? Are these stats fighting each other, or is it simultaneous? Is it people want, both at the same time? I mean, what's going on with that?
Just because I've got the mic, I'll answer that and hand it over to you for your opinion. But I always say that consumers don't exist in a vacuum. We are dynamic, and because we're consumers, of course. And so it depends. It's going to be a little bit of everything. So we know typically that consumers do want to start the day healthy. They want that, especially we see so many egg bites. That's continuing to grow. But there is that room for indulgence, and especially permissible indulgence, those small little bites. I see so many of the like little cake jars or things like that, because you want to be able to try to live your best life. You're trying to eat healthier. You're trying to get more greens, more of your veggie snacks like we've seen into your diet, but you also want to soothe yourself. And we're still living in anxiety. We still need that comfort. There's an amazing pot pie company over in the New York area. They're out of, I think, Brooklyn, and they're small, so you can have that comfort, but you can do it in a permissible way. So I think we need both. We need room in our lives for everything. So
yeah, another trend that we're seeing at the show is food as medicine, and I think that really hits at what you're saying. So, and a lot of very specific products, right? Smoothies for perinatal and postnatal. Fermented teas for gut health. So I think what people are trying to do in many cases is not just have delicious food, but have everything they're eating on the health side of the equation have some function, right? So they're not just having an iced tea, they're having a probiotic iced tea. They're not just having a smoothie, they're having a perinatal smoothie for their health. And then, excuse me, and then sure, later in the day, when they hit the dark chocolate,
You had a bad day, you
steak,
had a long, hard day.
right.
It's hard to stay.
Because food is medicine, food is health, right? And I think people are being a lot more intentional about it. You're absolutely right. I don't think the plant-based meat market has really taken a huge chunk out of the conventional meat market. What we're seeing overall is more globally. So yes, plant-based meat analog sales are up. Guess what? So are meat sales. People are eating more and cooking more.
Like what Melanie was saying, we don't live in a vacuum.
Right.
We want everything.
Right. And that's the great thing about consumers. If you're a car shopper, you can sort of be easily segmented. Do you want sporty? Do you want family? Do you want fuel?
Because that's it.
Fuel
Once
economy?
you pick that car, that's what you're driving.
That's what you have, right? But I can have my organic yogurt and granola for breakfast, and I could sneak out to a QSR for lunch, and I can have a chefy fine dining dinner, and I'm the same person with the same segmentation, right? So it's really challenging, but also wonderful to
it
work
must
in
make
food
that
for
challenging
reason, right?
when you're, because you can't segment it. I think that's what I was hitting when I was looking at all those stats. That's really interesting.
And so when you talk to consumers, they may say one thing about how they eat and what they value and what they select, and they typically don't remember all the everyday stuff, right? So when you look at their fridge, it tells a different story, and that's why the ethnographic and the qualitative work is so important in addition to the numbers.
Yeah. So final. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say too that consumers have the best of intentions, and I think it's really important that there are products out there that support their goals and support their dreams of who they want to be, especially in these times. And so I'm a big believer in, if something is a placebo but it works for you, do it. I think that you have to be very transparent in making these kinds of products, and you have to be able to back it up. But if you're gonna,
been the issue, right?
Exactly. But if you're gonna eat granola because you think that that's gonna start your day off well, and that does make you feel more energetic, and it makes you happy. I think that's just as important as something where you're actually quantifying all the nutrients, because a lot of consumers don't even have the knowledge to be able to do that. So
thank you so much. Great points all around. Melanie Bartelme from Mintel, Jonathan Deutsch of Drexel Food Lab. Thank you so much for joining us. Great points.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, awesome. All right, well, we're going to take it now to a pre-tape interview that we did earlier. Our very own Chris Campbell got to talk to 2 SFA leaders of membership to talk about all the great perks and benefits of being a member of the Specialty Food Association, which you should consider if you have not already. Let's go take a look at that interview. I hope you enjoy it.
Hey everybody, Chris Campbell back here, and I'm with SFA's Tressa Kennedy and Sarah Massoni, and I want to welcome you both to the show. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us, Chris.
And I want to start off, we're going to talk a little bit about membership, but I want to talk about the buzz here today. 2 years without the Specialty Food Association show in New York. How does it feel today?
It feels amazing. I've been on the show floor meeting with members and talking with them, and they're so excited to be back in New York after 2 years. And we're all just super excited to be back here at the Fancy Food Show in New York. Vegas was great, but New York is like totally amazing so far.
And I have to agree, the buzz is really palpable out here. I do want to talk a little bit about membership, though. So let's talk about some of the benefits for food companies joining SFA. Can you talk about some of those membership benefits?
Sure. So some of the benefits that members have here at the association is we have press releases that they are entitled to. They're entitled to distribute 9 press releases to our press community. We also have our product marketplace, which is now going to be available and open 365 days all year long, where you can actually make connections with buyers through our product marketplace. We also have the Sophie Award, which is the best of the best. Nothing like winning a Sophie and displaying it and having it worldwide known that your product won a Sophie Award as being a member of the association. We also have UPS shipping discounts that we offer to our members, educational sessions, research material, webinars are also part of the overall benefits of the association, and also exhibiting in the Fancy Food Show is one of the major benefits of being a member of the association.
And we were talking a little bit earlier about the membership. How many members does SFA have?
Currently, we have 3,300 members of the association. Current active members in the association, 3,300.
And how many would you say are here today?
We have approximately a third of the membership exhibiting in the show. That's 1,000 members are actually exhibiting in this Fancy Food Show.
Seems like a really strong, section of the membership actually showing up today.
It's a very strong section of the membership, and we have 300 of those 1,000 members are actually first-time exhibitors. So they've never exhibited in a Fancy Food Show before. This is their actual first Fancy Food Show that they've ever participated in.
Well, it's a very good one for them. All the buzz we were talking about earlier, people are very excited to be here. So very awesome to see that. Sarah, I want to ask you a question too, because I know that you work with the Incubator Village, and that's one of the things that membership can kind of help out with. So can you tell us a little bit about the Incubator Village and how, members in SFA can kind of leverage that?
Sure. Incubator Village is a great place for people to get started with a Specialty Food Association. We have over 30 people exhibiting there with, I think, 5 or 6 different incubators from around the country. It's so exciting. Some of our previous folks that were in Incubator Village are now on the show floor, and some of them are really top sellers. They've made great strides and had tremendous success, all coming from Incubator Village.
So how does it feel, when you work with one of these companies on the incubator floor, you get to see them kind of graduate up to the main floor? How does that feel for both of you on the membership side?
Oh, I'm so proud of them. I can't wait to walk the show floor and stop by and say hi to all my incubator graduates.
Excellent. And I just want to ask one last question for you, Tressa. If anyone's looking to join SFA, they're looking for additional information on membership, where could they go?
If they are on site, they can stop by the membership counter, which is on level 2, right next to registration. And if they join during the 3 days of the Fancy Food Show, we are actually waiving the application fee. So they can apply online and start taking advantage of benefits right here on site.
That's an excellent deal. Definitely should say, anybody out there that's listening in, definitely try to take advantage of that. What if they're at home? What could they do?
If they're at home, they can go to our website, specialtyfood.com, and apply for membership there.
All right, excellent. And I know one of the things that we're seeing here today, a lot of interesting trends. So I'm wondering, both of you, I know you've had a little chance to kind of walk around the floor. What are you seeing today that's really kind of catching your interest?
So one product in particular that I just stopped by the booth was a malted cheesecake. It was basically a bonbon, but it was cheesecake, and it was simply amazing. It was like the best cheesecake I had ever tasted, and it was really, really, really cool and innovative, I think.
So I'm definitely going to have to go find that.
Yes,
and Sarah, how about you? Any product that you saw today that you're really interested in?
I wouldn't want to really comment on one product, but I
Okay.
would like to say is we're seeing people from all over the world. We have a wide range of products that are diverse and provided by the BIPOC community. And I wanted to just point everyone over to the included section, which is where we're highlighting some folks that are brand new to the Specialty Food Association.
All right, excellent. So I want to thank you both for your time today. Really, really appreciate it. And like I said, anybody that's still looking around, you can go over to SFA's website or check out the membership booth to get those membership deals. So thanks you both once again, and hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Our main man, Ron Tanner, is on the floor at the Incubator Village with all of the wonderful, newly blossomed buds of little companies, the little companies that could, aspiring to be the big companies that can and will. Ron, what are some of the amazing up-and-coming brands that you're seeing?
Well, we're going to take a little bit of a stroll here through the Incubator Village. While I do that, I have to say I'm not surprised that Tressa chose the cheesecake, because she is a cheesecake lover. First, we're walking past the Hatchery in Chicago. The Hatchery is an incubator which is based in a economically challenged area of Chicago, and they're bringing food producers to that area to do manufacturing. They do a really lot of great work. So we're seeing Alito Foods products, smoothies. We're seeing Think Jerky, a lot of jerky here at the Fancy Food Show. I'm seeing a soup company. And now we're moving over to the Rutgers Food Innovation Center, which is in Bridgeton, New Jersey, in South Jersey, one of the original food incubators who have helped develop a lot of different products. And we're coming up on Nolan Ryan, and Nolan's going to tell us a little bit about the incubator and what they do. So Nolan, tell us a little bit about Rutgers Food Innovation Center and what you do down there.
Hi, my name is Nolan Lewin. I'm the Executive Director for the Rutgers Food Innovation Center. And we are basically an incubator accelerator. And we bring small to medium-sized clients into our facility, and we help them get into market through various means. If they need marketing help or sensory analysis, formulation work, ingredient sourcing, we kind of are soup to nuts kind of a facility where we can help in many different aspects. Not every single genre of food, but acidified foods, teas, jellies, jams, packaged goods, and that's really kind of the niche that we fill.
It's a great place. If you do have a food idea, get in contact with Nolan or with Craig, and let them know what you want to do, and they'll help you. They will tell you if your baby is ugly, from what I've heard, because there's a lot of people in this business that really don't probably need to invest their Visa $50,000 credit limit in a product, and Nolan's good at doing that. We're going to move down and talk to some of your clients now. Thank you, Nolan. And we're still moving down through Rutgers here, a lot of different great products moving over, and we're going to talk to a company that has developed a salad in a glass jar. I think one of the most innovative things here at the show. And we're moving up, and we're going to be talking to Jared Cannon. Jared, tell us a little bit about your product. It's really unusual. I don't think I've ever seen a salad in a jar, and I understand this is actually a kind of shelf-stable, or is it a refrigerated product?
So our products are all refrigerated. We manufacture and have a technology that we developed at Rutgers as part of our R&D efforts to basically preserve fresh ingredients. far longer than should be possible, right? So our salads, we put a 11-day shelf life at retail on the package, but they literally look indistinguishably different 40 days after manufacture. So it's pretty cool what we're able to do, and we're able to leverage that same technology across a suite of products.
It's really beautiful how you kind of put everything in there in the jar. So is the dressing on the bottom, and then it kind of moves up through there?
Yeah, so dressings are all included, so the package is really all inclusive. So you just shake it up for about 12 seconds, and you got a fully mixed salad right in the jar. You can reseal it, throw it in a backpack, or enjoy the whole thing all at once.
And who are your potential customers? Would it be convenience stores, supermarkets? Where are you looking to sell the product?
So the product's currently scaled and distributed. So we're in convenience, grocery, club, drug, food service, and it works great in a lot of really cool places, and some places you might not think that.
Thank you. We're going to try to move really quickly for one more, maybe 30-second interview as we move down here to somebody that is making avocado seed. We have about 15 seconds for you to tell us about your product and your ideas. So
what we do is we extract the antioxidants out of the avocado seed to make a drink that is good for your gut health and has 3 times more antioxidants than a green tea.
And you're utilizing food waste to make a good product, and she learned how to do this at Drexel, I believe.
Thesis, actually, and the idea got started at the Drexel Food Lab.
Thank you, Chantal. It's great to see you. And that's it here from Incubator Village. There are other organizations here, and please, if you are at the show, come by. And if not, try to find some of these great companies, and you can also go to the websites of the incubators to find more about the companies that they have. So thank you, and we'll go back to Susan.
All right, I love it. I love seeing all of these little companies blossoming and blooming like spring flowers, even though it is summer. It is the summer 2022 Fancy Foods Show, and I'm so glad that they're there because they get a chance to talk to all of the great people that are attending this show. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. I think I need it. I've been stumbling a little bit here and there. We're coming in on the home stretch. Thanks for staying with us, watching with us. We've got more great content for you. Stick with us. We'll be right back. Catch us right here. We'll be back in a second. Are here at live Summer 22 Fancy Foods Show. I'm your host, Susan Choi. Getting a little tired here. I've been working hard to get you all the live coverage that you want, that you could ever need. At the Javits Center, this Summer Fancy Food Show brought to you by the Specialty Food Association. Again, this live stream powered by the Food Institute, one and only media company dedicated to getting you the food and beverage industry news that you need. www.foodinstitute.com. Don't forget to visit, sign up, become a member, subscribe. You'll get great newsletters, great webinars, content, podcasts, live streams just like this. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, you name it, we're on it. And so is SFA. And that's why we're partnering up with them. Great association. Just such a great show here today. Charlene, can you give me a view of the aerial cam again, that wonderful view? There you go, see the shot. People are still going strong. It is day 3, noontime, lunchtime. People are still going strong here at the Javits Center. And we're gonna show you some more great content right now. Brian Choi of our very own Food Institute got to take a special look at one entrepreneur's journey. Allison Kane is the founder and owner of Haven's Kitchens. It's an event space and a culinary education center. She also runs the In the Sauce podcast, all about her journey as an entrepreneur, having guests on talking about issues in the food industry and about being an entrepreneur. And she has 5 kids. Superwoman, maybe? I think so. So let's see what she had to share with our very own Brian Choi. Take a look.
All right, so we're here with Allison Kane, the founder of Haven's Kitchen and also host of the In the Sauce podcast. So Allison, welcome to be interviewed with the Food Institute.
Thank you so much for having me. This is really fun in the middle of this big show, just to have this little quiet corner.
Awesome. So Allison, tell us a little bit about Haven's Kitchen, what the company does, what it makes, and what your experience has been here at Fancy Food thus far.
Yeah, I mean, Haven's Kitchen started in 2012 as a recreational cooking school. I opened in Chelsea, in New York City, about 3 blocks away from the farmers market. And I had just, I was in a master's program for food systems and sustainability. And I just really wanted to teach people how to cook, because cooking is good for you, for your family, for the environment. People who cook more make better choices about the meat that they buy and the produce that they buy.
Right.
There's all sorts of correlations between home cooking and hunger, and it seemed to me like people just needed to know more. There's like a fear and loathing around cooking. That sort of over 8 years morphed into making these sauces because our students were requesting them. They said, I can grill a steak, I can, stir fry tofu, but what really gives it the flavor and what's really the hardest work is the sauce.
Right.
And the options, in 2017 were very shelf stable, loaded with preservatives, salt, sodium. There was some movement into sort of more organic and better for you, but not fresh and not in flavors like chimichurri and golden tahini. So we launched in 14 New York City Whole Foods in 2018. I consequently closed the cooking school in the pandemic. And now we've grown, I don't even know how to calculate thousands of percentages.
Wow, congratulations.
Since then. So it's been quite a ride. And it's great to see all these people out and about, and business doesn't stop just because people are working at home, especially in food and beverage. It's been a really tough couple of years, I think, for a lot of different segments of this industry, and it's really nice to see that there's eagerness to be back together.
Wow. Well, congratulations on all the success.
Thank you.
It must have been extraordinarily difficult to not only start a company, but to build it, to launch it, have to deal with the pandemic.
Yeah.
So how, what's your advice to other entrepreneurs here? This is their first fancy food, right? So what's your advice to these entrepreneurs that want to launch and experience the same type of success that you've had?
Yeah, I think there are a few fundamentals that have only gotten more fundamental. I always think about the three little pigs. And there are these three little pigs. One builds a house of brick, one builds a straw, one builds a wood. They all look the same from the outside, but when the big bad wolf comes and blows, two of them fall down and one of them's still standing. The little pig who made the brick of a house of bricks kind of got some flack. Oh, you're too focused. You're too much of a nervous Nelly. But I think what we're learning now is that those fundamentals, strong margins, good team, lots of cash for runway, those are things that were true in 2018, but they're even more true now.
Right.
So when I took some of my brick and mortar learnings, and even though I wasn't, kind of like launching big marketing campaigns and, kind of out and about in a way, I think that I was behind the scenes making sure that I had not only secondary suppliers on my supply chain, but tertiary suppliers, that there was a plan B, a plan C, a plan D, that I was loaded up with cash just in case something happened. And more than ever now, this environment is proving some of those business fundamentals to be even more critical.
Awesome. No, I love the fact that you focus on the fundamentals. I'm a fundamentals guy.
Yeah.
So I definitely appreciate that. You're also a board member of Naturally New York.
I am.
And there's a pitch slam that's happening at the show. So tell us a little bit about that and your experience being a board member.
Yeah, the Naturally Network has been around for a long time. It's it's the genesis of a lot of great products. It's been a really beautiful community for founders and people in the sort of natural food industry and also beauty and just CPG in general. I think of food first. For years, and New York finally has our own chapter. So this is our inaugural year, and what's a chapter of Naturally New York without a pitch slam? So we have a bunch of really, really great, exciting entrepreneurs pitching their products and some great judges. And I'll just be working the booth, and cheering them on from the sidelines. So it's exciting.
Awesome. That's great. And my last question is related to your podcast.
Yes.
So, In the Sauce podcast, tell us a little about that and what the genesis is and who you're trying to reach in terms of an audience.
Yeah, it really started because, we had our first purchase order for Whole Foods and Fresh Direct in March 2018. And I assumed we had a few weeks before the second one. And lo and behold, 48 hours later, we got an order for 4 times what we had originally done. And basically, it got me on the floor crying. So I started interviewing people in the industry. It felt selfish, candidly, not to share these interviews with people who could really use them.
Right.
It's been 160 episodes, 4 years, and I'm hoping to save people a little bit of time, a little bit of money, a little bit of heartache, just by sparing them some mistakes that we all make along the way with some
Right.
experts.
Well, I love that you're investing back into the community.
Yeah.
Allison, thank you so much for
Thank
interviewing.
you for having me. This is really fun. Thank
All right.
you. Take
Sounds
care.
great. Thanks.
Wait. All right, we're back. I hope you enjoyed that talk with Allison Kane. We are here now with, once again, our expert man on the floor, Ron Tanner. He is here at the Beverage Pavilion. I can see him with my own eyes. He's just steps away. And I love that, Ron, you in front of all those delicious drinks. And I want to know what it is you are in front of. What are you seeing?
Yeah, we're here at the Beverage Pavilion, and the Beverage Pavilion is a first for the Fancy Food Show. The buyers like to see products together, so they put in a Beverage Pavilion. We were at the Sweets Pavilion yesterday, and there's a variety of different products here. Everything from tea to cocktail mixers and pretty much everything in between, a lot of juices. But we're going to start by talking here at Beeswater. We're going to talk to Henry. Henry won a Sophie Award for new product. Congratulations for that. Where are you going to put this?
We're going to put it right in our office, standing right there on the table.
Okay, that's great. Some people put them in their homes too. So, great. Could you explain a little bit about, why you feel your product is going to be good and be successful?
Yeah, so we have Bees Water. It's an all-natural organic honey water. They're all infused with real honey, no added sugar, no artificial sweeteners. So you get all the health benefits of honey in every bottle. We also have the 2 times the amount of vitamin C required daily in every bottle, so that you can have also the antioxidant benefits of vitamin C.
Is it hard to get honey into water? Does it a special process, or how does it work exactly? Because not too many companies are doing that.
We have a proprietary formulation and a proprietary blend that we use to get it into the water. And we also have a number of them also have herbal extracts as well to help for wellness.
And where do you want to be selling the product? Are you looking at convenience stores, supermarkets? Who's going to be your customer?
So right now we're selling it mostly in the supermarkets. We also have it on our website, on Amazon. We have it in a number of other outlets, but typically the supermarkets. We have it in places like Whole Foods and a number of other conventional supermarkets.
Good, congratulations. I hope the rest of the show goes. Only 3 hours left. We're going to move down here a little bit farther. Excuse me. As we go through the beverage aisle, it's getting kind of busy here. I think sometimes people need their hydration after they go out at a night at the Fancy Food Show. So they're coming through the aisle here. We're going to be moving down to King Floyd's, who is a elixir maker, I think based out of California. So we're coming up here. It looks like he's making a drink, but excuse us for a minute. So this is Lawrence Batterton from King Floyd. Did I see you at the American Craft Spirit Association?
Matter of fact, yeah, we did. You look familiar.
Could you explain a little bit about your product? I see you're making drinks for people here. I'm surprised more people aren't coming. And they probably see us, we'll have to shoo them away. But talk a little bit about the product and what you see as the potential for it.
Our product, the heart of our company is really the bitters. And so I've been in the herbal extract business for about 25 years and started this company about 5 years ago. And it's totally focused on cocktail bitters. So we started with an aromatic. We have a barrel-aged aromatic. Orange and cardamom were the first 3 flavors we came out with. And then by request and just kind of our own creative input, we're doing a lot of other fun flavors like cherry cacao, grapefruit and rosemary, scorched pear and ginger, chocolate, cardamom, and ginger, things like that.
So are the products more for the home mixologist or for the bartender? Who is your...
Both, yeah, definitely the creative mixologist, the creative bartender, they're really into our products. And then also people buy them for their home bars. With COVID and everything, my kind of back of the napkin calculation about the explosion of home bars. Everybody started drinking at home. I kind of roughly estimated there was maybe 50,000 bars in the United States, and then that turned into like a couple million.
Well, that's good for your business, I would think. Great.
For bar snacks, and we sell salts and rimming salts and sugars, flavored salts, and things for rimming your glasses like margaritas and Bloody Marys, garnishes and things like that. And then we have a nice kind of gifty line because a lot of people give your dad an old-fashioned kit kind of thing for Father's Day.
Well, congratulations. We'll probably bring our cameraman back here at around 3 o'clock or so. So we appreciate that. We're finishing down the beverage area here, going past Two Rivers Coffee. Lots of coffees, lots of teas, lots of various different things. We've got an Remedy Organics here over to the left, which has some products which can make you feel more healthy. Do we have time to turn the corner here, Brian, or should we keep going? Because there's 2 aisles to the beverage aisle, and maybe we'll just walk over here and give like a big view of the second aisle over here as we keep on going. The second aisle has companies like Ito En, which is one of the largest Japanese beverage.
Okay, Ron, I think we lost you for a little bit there, perhaps. We'll try to see. Are you? Oh, I think you're back. Ron, if you can hear me, I think you can you want to try to report again? No, maybe. Okay, giving an aerial shot. I like that. Aerial shot of the floor. Okay, Charlene, just put me back on. I think they might have lost the feed, but that's quite all right because we got a great shot of what was going on in the beverage pavilion. I can actually see the beverage pavilion right in front of me. So many delicious drinks. I really like that bee water. Maybe you guys should check that out. The elixirs. I did see a lot of mixers here. A lot of bitters. Just like we interviewed Jamari Pinkert of Hella Cocktail Co. He specializes in bitters. And I know I've been enjoying some of the drinks here. I know my producer Charlene has been enjoying some of the drinks here too. It's been going great. So we are going to go now to a quick break. And when we come back, we will have a special pre-taped interview for you. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Yes, hi, this is Ron Tanner. I'm here with Becky Renfro.
And we're back, and I do have one last special interview. I mean, I know I always say that these interviews are special, but this one is really special. This is having a chat with the Hall of Fame honorees. The SFA, they honor certain individuals, distinguished individuals in the specialty food industry whose accomplishments have made a great impact in the lives of many in the community at large. And I'm so pleased to say that we were able to catch up with Becky Renfro and Lou Foa, the honorees for 2021. And I hope you enjoy the chat that they were able to have with the Food Institute. Take a look.
Yes, hi, this is Ron Tanner. I'm here with Becky Renfro of Renfro Foods. She's a senior vice president, and Lou Foa of Foa International. These two wonderful people have contributed a lot to the industry and are going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So you're not quite a Hall of Famer till 4 o'clock tonight, but you will become 4 o'clock. So Becky, I'd like to talk a little bit about your company and also talk a little bit about your service to the industry.
So my grandparents started the company in 1940, and I'm part of the third generation along with my brother and my cousin running the company. And we have a line of salsas and relishes and jalapeno peppers and cheese sauce and barbecue sauce. And we're in all 50 states and about 30 countries.
And you keep expanding from what I've seen. You have a new warehouse or a new factory?
We're just, hopefully by the end of June, we're in our new shipping warehouse. We added on to shipping, which is a good problem to have. That means we are making a lot of product and selling a lot of product. So we love that. And I actually have volunteered for the Specialty Food Association for about 22 years now. And I served on their board of directors, and I served as chair. And then I was past chair, and then came back and served as co-chair with Trish Mahanka. And that was a lot of fun, being co-chairs together.
No, that's great. And you contributed so much to the growth of the association. Just think what it was like 22 years ago.
I know. It's unbelievable how the show has grown. We grew our business at this show, meeting with distributors, retailers, and that's how we grew our business and ended up being in all 50 states.
Lou, tell us a little bit. You were kind of born into the industry, from what I understand. So talk a little bit about your business, your family, and what you've contributed to the association as well.
I will. Well, thank you. So, as Ron said, I was practically born in this industry in 1951. My father, with 7 of his friends, started the Specialty Food Association here in New York. The first show had 8 booths, and it was the 8 of them exhibiting and trying to introduce gourmet specialty foods to the United States back in the early 50s. From there, after college, I entered the industry full-time with my dad. And then we've been, ever since the late 80s, we've been manufacturing products, private label, for all the major chains in the country, mostly Italian products. And I have worked for the Specialty Food Association on a volunteer basis with Becky for over 22 years on every committee and in every facet of the association. And I've seen it grow into really what my father and his friends envisioned what it would be back in 1951.
So why was it important for you to give back to the industry?
Well, obviously family tradition, but more than anything, like Becky said, my business grew being here. And we had the opportunity, because of the association, to grow our business, to create new products, to introduce products to the United States. And it was just something I felt I wanted to do and I needed to do, and I thoroughly enjoyed doing every time I volunteered for whether it was admissions, whether it was strategic planning, education, whatever it was another facet of this industry that I felt like I could contribute to.
So Becky and Lou really show the breadth of the industry. We have an important domestic manufacturer and somebody who's brought in some of the leading Italian products in the United States. Becky, what does it mean to you to be inducted into the Hall of Fame?
I just think it's a wonderful. I'm just so excited. I've never been a Hall of Famer. I'm like, oh,
Not even in the Rodeo Hall of Fame?
not even in the Rodeo Hall of
Okay.
Fame. I think I have to ride a horse to be in that. But no, it's just a wonderful honor, and I'm just so excited. I gave back. I love giving back because I've been giving so much. My life is so enriched, and I have so many friends in the specialty food industry, and it's just a great industry. We're family. It's not just your company, my company. We're all a big family, and so it's such an honor to be honored as a Hall of Famer.
And Lou, what does it mean to you?
Well, I never went into it looking for an honor or anything. It was just more just giving back and helping a lot of young companies that didn't know how to enter the market. And hopefully if I could show them and help them not make the same mistakes that some of us made, it would benefit them. But as an association, it was just wonderful to see it grow. And, I don't plan on stopping. I'm hoping to continue giving back to the association.
Great. Well, thank you very much. The Hall of Fame ceremony is going to be tonight at 4. This is going to be broadcast on Monday, so people can see what you're thinking about, and you can read about everybody that's been inducted into the Hall of Fame at specialtyfood.com. There's a lot of people in this industry, and we're shaping the future of food. But through the years, the association has really shaped what America eats. And you've done that with salsa. You've done that with some pesto and some other different things. So really thank you for what you contributed to the association, but also to America and the way consumers eat in the United States.
Thanks. Thank you, Ron.
Oh, I needed to turn on my mic. I needed to turn on my mic, otherwise you wouldn't be able to hear me. So we're back. I hope you enjoyed that conversation with the wonderful Becky Renfro Lufoa Hall of Fame honorees from 2021. But we need to bring you now back onto the floor before the show ends. It's day 3. The show is going to end at 3 p.m. We got to take you back one more time to a location, a really special location. We got to save the best for last. The city's so nice, they named it twice. New York Pavilion in New York City, New York. Ron Tanner, the one, the only, is on the floor at the New York Pavilion. Ron, what do you got for us? What do you got for us in our home in the Empire State Pavilion?
Susan, we're back in New York, and I'm not sure if everybody knows, New York has been the home of the Fancy Food Show since 1955. A couple years outside in D.C., a couple years in Philadelphia, but mostly in New York. And New York has
Ron,
a lot
by the
of
way,
great...
you look fabulous.
Well, thank you for that. If I can look fabulous toward the end of the show, that's kind of a good thing. I've been behaving myself. But we're going to stop here and talk to Troy briefly. Troy has giant bags of popcorn from Rochester, New York, so from upstate New York. And just one quick question. Who buys those popcorn bags?
They're primarily in the grocery store channel. The evolution of popcorn has been successful for a number of years, and we want to give people what they want. And what they want is big bags of butter and kettle popcorn.
How many calories is in one of those bags of popcorn?
We don't ask these questions normally, or answer these questions normally, but there's 160 calories in kettle and 130 in butter.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. I would eat at least half the bag, so I'm going to stick with a little bit of smaller ones. And, now that we've had the popcorn, we're going to move down to crepini. And if we could get Ann, if you could quit working. Hello. Okay.
There we
So
go.
we're here at the Crepini booth. Crepini has a lot of really interesting products, egg-based products, different things. Hi, Paula. Nice to see you. So just very quickly, what are some of your new products, and where do you think they're going to be going in the market? Which one of you wants to take the question?
Have a ready to eat or heat. It's an omelet product. We've taken our wrap, we made it a bit thicker with some cheddar cheese, so you can eat it right out of the pack or heat it and have a wonderful, delicious breakfast. It's protein, really low carb, really good on calories, and it's just a really great healthy start to the day. The other product that we're really excited about is the eggless product. This is a plant-based product. It is made with just egg, and we have it today with some hummus. Very, very exciting product, and we're getting a lot of great response because to replace eggs with something that's not eggs when our product is predominantly eggs has really been quite a revolution for us.
That's great. I mean, people are looking for breakfast on the go. And now that people are going back to the office, they'll be looking for that even more. So it seems like you're in a really good place now to make that. So great. And a woman-owned business, I understand. Paula, do you want to talk about the advantage of being a woman-owned business?
Yeah, so there's definitely a great advantage other than working with women, which is always a pleasure. You may get a retailer space, which is very hard to get real estate at some retailers. You may get that at a discount or no slotting at all. There's also a lot of associations and groups that particularly love to help women-owned and diverse businesses in our state, and of course in New York City as well. So.
Great. Thank you very much. We're going to keep moving, Brian, to see some more. Good to see you. Here we're continuing to walk down New York. New York, a lot of products from Brooklyn, a lot of products from upstate New York. So just places from everywhere because New York is such a great state. And we're going to finish up here with Rick's Picks. This is Rick from Rick's Picks. I'm going to borrow you for a minute. Yeah, Rick, tell us a little bit about your snacking veggies. These look like really cool products. It looks like you got a Sophie for them.
We won best new product in the pickles and olives category for our snacking cauliflower. We wanted to expand outside of just straight up cucumber pickles. We've had snacking pickles in the market since 2019. We wanted to expand into veggies, and we chose cauliflower because it's very on trend in all sorts of formats, and carrots because it's universally beloved as a vegetable staple. So they've proven to be good choices and popular here at the show, and we have some high leverage opportunities right around the corner.
Are the customers primarily adults or kids?
Well, the snacking veggies are marketed to a wide demographic. We make them mellow enough, I guess you would say, so that children and young people who aren't ready for heavy spice will enjoy them. But at the same time, they're appealing enough to engage millennials and people who are beyond the millennial phase.
And I do have one last question for you. When you go home, do you wear your pickle shirts in the house all the time, or do you keep those just for the shows?
I walk around my house naked, so I don't wear any clothes at home at all.
Okay, I'm not sure that's the way we wanted to end it up, but anyway, thank you, Rick. We appreciate that. We're not going to give out your address, so we're going to keep it safe there. And Brian, are we good with time here? So thank you from the New York Pavilion. A lot of great things here, and we'll see you later.
All right, Ron Tanner. Ron, stay with me here. Stay with me because we're closing out the show. This is it. How do you feel? You've been my faithful co-pilot throughout all of this.
I'm feeling very, very happy. It's the afternoon. It's a little bit after 12:30. There's still a lot of people walking the floor down here in the level 1. Very, very busy. People looking for products. It's been a great show. The Specialty Food Association has put on a great show, bringing a lot of these new companies and established companies. Companies such as Rick's, which has been around for almost 20 years, but they're still innovating, and it's great to see all these innovative products, and it's great to see all these happy people. Last summer, these people were all sitting in their houses looking at each other on Zoom and not getting to talk to each other, not getting to sample the foods. And, it's just great to see the energy that has come back here to the Javits Center and the Fancy Food Show.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. And Ron Tanner, you would know it better than anyone else. You are a veteran of these shows. And, everyone knows you here. Everyone loves you here. We're so happy that you could be with us on this live stream. You've made it come alive with the Ron Tanner magic. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Susan. It's been a pleasure to work with you and with Brian and the whole Food Institute team.
The pleasure's ours. We're going to take you down because we want to let you get to that kettle corn over there. Save me a save me a bag. But that's it. That is our show. That is the live stream. Summer 2022 Fancy Foods. Powered by the Food Institute, brought to you by SFA. I hope you enjoyed your time with me, took you through all the pavilions, took you through all of the key guests that were here. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I certainly enjoyed myself. Thank you for being my faithful viewers. This was our first time ever doing this broadcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Please send feedback if you'd like to. www.foodinstitute.com. You can check us out again, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. Same for sfaspecialtyfood.com. Don't forget to become a member to both places. We're all over on social media, all over on the internet. And I thank you so much for joining us. This is Susan Choi signing off. Have a great day. Take care. Stay hungry. We'll see you next time at the next Fancy Foods show. Thanks so much.